Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're doing good. Well, um, I don't know. I've been thinking about not doing as many videos, like maybe every couple weeks, because it seems like I don't get a lot of people who view my channel, view my videos, and I don't know if it's really, I mean, all of you, any ones that do watch it, it's worth it. But I don't know if, it's hard for me to know if this is important enough. If people don't think it's much to watch, they probably won't watch it. So, but, anyways, I keep trying, I keep working hard to put Summer's name out there, and I keep trying to find information to give to all of you so that we can keep trying to figure out what's going on in the Summer Wells case and who is the guilty suspect and who has motive, you guys. Who has motive? Um, does Candace have motive? Does Don have motive to do something like this? Is it motive? Did they have a motive? Did they plan this? Because I feel like they planned it all the way. And that's, how can it be an accident if you planned it? I mean, he planned his alibis. He even brags that he has 7 alibis, and there's no way, that he could have did this to Summer Wells. And he took that Subaru to work for a reason that day. And everything that happened just seemed very planned. The pictures, the video, just everything. So, anyways, I don't know about motive, but I don't think, I'm having a hard time believing this was an accident because it seemed like it was very well planned. I do find it strange that Don did not show up to work Sunday when he told Dudley that he would, and then he fired him on Monday. And Summer goes missing on Tuesday, but Don was really upset the day before, so I don't know, very strange. But I don't know if many of you have heard, but, or seen, I think it was on Evil Exists, but the channel. But Don, Tim and Don, well, Don had Tim basically wrote it and put an article in the Sun Media how Don Wells, the father of Summer Wells, can't be, he's not to blame. He's not, perfect angel, but, he didn't do anything. He's, even the behavioral panel and Dr. Phil found him innocent. So, okay, whatever. He is really trying to push this. And like I told everyone before on a previous video, the reason he's doing this and pushing this out to the media in different letters, and the reason he said that these were pre-planned letters set to come out at a certain date, because he's trying to influence CPS, he's trying to influence the judge, and hoping that this gets out to all the media so people can see it and maybe feel sorry for him. I don't know. You cannot persuade people if they think something you're not going to do very good at just by saying, I'm innocent, okay? The father didn't do anything wrong, so I just thought, wow. Don makes himself look like a fool, but nice try, Don, you know? But anyways, you guys, I got a couple videos for you tonight that I found. And I want to say, that I think all these videos that people, all these creators that have made great videos and done interviews, I think they're all important. I appreciate every single one of them and the information that they were able to, to get and gather. I appreciate it very much. And also, it's good because sometimes people don't hear certain interviews. They might have missed it, they might not remember it. And so I think it's good to look at some of these videos. And this one right here, I thought was really interesting. Just a few things that Don had said. And I just want to share a clip under fair use. But this channel is J is for Justice. She's an awesome creator YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed to her, you should, because she does a lot of videos on all different subjects, not just on summer, but she's done a lot. And, she got this interview with Don. And so I just wanted you to hear a few things about this. And we'll just take a listen here. It's just going to be a small clip. So listen to this video. It's an update from Don Wells, but it was on 7/24 of 2021. So like a month after Summer went missing. So listen to what he says.
Hey, it's Jay. Hey, I haven't talked to you in a little bit. I wanted to call and check in
Hold
on
on.
you.
I'm going to put it on words on the TV so you can hopefully see it or read it, or come on, play.
Are the kids okay?
They're fine.
The rumor is that they were taken out of the home. Were they taken from you guys?
Yeah.
Were they? Oh no.
Yeah.
Yesterday?
A couple days ago.
Oh, I'm so
Right
sorry.
right now, with everybody attacking us and all this stuff going on, right now, it's probably better for them.
Was it for their safety? Like from that?
No, there's more to it than that. But
Uh-oh. Is it more in the case with what's
these cops and everything.
Are you there?
Things and everywhere we go, they take pictures of us, and it's on and on and on. It's just never ending.
Jiva is more than a prescription. There's also a program that cares about your experience.
I know these creators got to make money, but these commercials drive you nuts. Okay, so.
It's just never ending.
Yeah, were people still coming to the house? You cut out for a second there.
Well, yeah, we had the cops come up there the other day. I want Candace to do another, whatever, light test, but I told her, unless it's TBI, don't do it, because they're just trying to hem you in on something.
Is this the sheriff that wants her to do it?
I don't know for sure, but
wow.
I mean, I'll cooperate fully with TBI.
Have you guys thought about getting an attorney?
Yeah, we have an attorney.
Oh, okay. What does he think she should do?
What's that?
Does he think she should do it or no? Like he should be giving you guys advice, you know?
I haven't talked to him about that. I wouldn't do it unless it's, like I told her, unless it's TBI. I'm willing to work with them. They're more of a professional. I'm not going to go with some county trying to nail us for something we ain't done.
Right.
I ain't even going to talk to them.
Right. Did she tell them that?
No, I don't tell them that at all. I mean, I'll let them know. Whatever, but it's just,
they don't want you to do one though, just her.
No, yeah, just her.
Yeah, everybody's really pointing fingers at her. They really are.
Yeah, and they're all dead wrong.
And you know that Hunter's mother, Allie, and her son.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to show you. Because what I wanted to say to you is that there's no way that Candace passed her polygraph because they wouldn't have asked her to do another one. And Don refused. And they are not cooperating. And they haven't been cooperating. But they like to say that they are. But the sheriff was right. They aren't cooperating. And they do have a lawyer. So he didn't lie about that. Also, I think it's very interesting, don't you guys, that the TBI and the police have been right on them, taking pictures of them wherever they go, you know, watching them. And they do suspect the family. So that gives me some encouragement there. Just hearing that, how they, you know, been following them and keeping an eye on Don and Candace. So that's good news to me. Okay, so I need to go over to a different channel now. And by the way, that was a good video. So go over to J is for Justice and check out all her videos, and you'll be able to see. I think it's sure, but I'm sorry. Okay. Not sure if this one's it. Oh boy, I don't remember. No, I don't think that's it at all. Oh boy, this is really, I want to really show you. I had it already, and now I forgot the name of it. Um, hmm. No, that's not doing it. Okay. I'm going to try here. Okay. I'm going to try putting in. No. Okay. Oh, I know what it is. Sorry, you guys. Summer Wells and trauma. Forgive me for the silence. I'm just so trying to find this. But anyways, this is really an amazing interview that I heard. And this woman who has this channel, she really, she's going to tell her story in here, but I just want to show you a little bit, a clip of this story under fair use. But I would recommend that you go to this channel and you listen to her whole story and even what she says at the end and how she compares it to Don Wells. And I think this is important for you to hear, and how this video is called Summer Wells Telling My Story, Don's Essay Matters, telling my story to show why Don Wells' past essay matters. And so I want you to hear just a little bit of this. Hold on.
Hello, and thanks for stopping by.
Let's just
Trauma, one I mentioned in this video, or anyone, period.
Okay, so she is gonna have a little bit of trauma stuff in here, so okay. Trigger warning.
In the middle of scorching.
Hold on.
And they both remarried people who hated him. He's
okay, excuse me. Okay.
In that family, but the abuse continued. One of Jeannie's friends also says that Don essayed her once when she was sleeping over at Jeannie's house as a child. And Jeannie's daughter, Trish, also has accused Don Wells of essaying her as a child, and Don vehemently denies that. In addition, it has been revealed that Don's stepfather essayed Don's sisters. So above and beyond the trauma family tree that I cobbled together for my last video, there's even more trauma to examine and running rampant throughout the family that it appears most people have not healed from. And there's likely more to be discovered in the Wells family tree. Now, when people are essay victims at the hands of their own family members, especially when the essay starts at a very young age, they may feel instinctively that something is wrong. But the person doing it to them is someone they love very much and is their provider and their protector, and is teaching them to believe that this is a normal thing in every family. Children who grow up in these family systems have really no way of knowing that it's not normal and not healthy, and that it will cause them a great deal of pain in the future unless they get out from under the people in that family and heal from the trauma. I've watched several interviews related to the Summer Wells case, and I've seen people compare their experiences as parents and children to the things that Don and Candace Wells say. But I've noticed that they're not taking Don's history into account when they say that. It's one thing to say, yeah, it's totally normal for a child to sleep with their parents. After all, my kids slept with me and my partner when they were younger, and we never did anything bad to them. But when people say that, I wonder if they're taking into account that the people they're talking about and comparing to, Don and Candace, or especially Don, have a long history of SA, and not only that, they have not changed their views or behaviors since that happened. And how do we know their views haven't changed? That's where Don Wells' comments come in. Here are a few examples of what Don Wells has said about his essay of his stepsister, Jeannie. He says that soon after the accusations came out, Don could have come across as a heartfelt apology, saying that it was wrong and that he shouldn't have done it, and that he was sorry for, whatever it did to hurt the person. But after that apology, Don Wells said that Jeannie was not only just as much to blame for it, but that she initiated it, and that they had a thing going when they were younger. A thing, like an actual relationship. Now, I just want to remind you here that when this started, Don was 12 and Jeannie was 5. And it is literally impossible for a 5-year-old girl to consensually initiate SA. All right? So, and then after Don's statements were analyzed by Chris McDonough of the interview room, and he didn't like how his own words and statements made him look in the eyes of the experienced professionals who did the language analysis, he made a very hostile phone call to Chris where he told Chris that it was her fault as much as his, and that if she was really bothered by it, she should have called the police when he was locked up rather than waiting until his daughter went missing. In the midst of this profanity-laden tirade at Chris, we can hear Candace in the background throwing in her own profanity at Chris as well. So to put an emphasis on that, Don's immediate, very current views on his essay of a 5-year-old girl, same age as his missing daughter, were that it was her fault, that she initiated it, and that she is the bad person for calling people's attention to his past actions at the point of his suffering over the disappearance of his daughter. So he's the victim here, all right, in his view. Now, let's put that in the context of the things that he said about his relationship with his missing 5-year-old daughter. And I'm pointing out the things that made my stomach churn as a survivor and someone who recognizes the way an abuser talks about those in his control. Don says that ever since Summer was born, she only wanted him and did not want her mother. That Candace had to coerce Summer with candy and trips to amusement parks so Summer would gravitate toward her. Don says that whenever he disciplined Summer, she immediately began crying, and he had to apologize to her over and over until she got over it. But if other people disciplined her, it didn't faze her as much. So she was extremely sensitive to how Don viewed her and his feelings toward her and his approval of her. He says that he had an intense love for her and that no one ever loved him like Summer did. And even if you could hear the tone of when he says these things, you almost hear somebody talking about an adult that he's referring to. One of the most disturbing things he said is that he has always known that something would happen to Summer and that it would be on Candace's watch. He further says that he believes even Summer knew as well that something was going to happen to her. And because of that, she felt most protected by him and that they had a special bond. So in that sense, he's making it sound like they're almost the same person with the same thoughts and feelings for each other. Another thing he said is that he loved to stroke her hair and tell her that he loved her. And when he said that on Voices Behind the Wall, he started to cry. And you know, in the context of a very normal father-daughter relationship, that actually sounds quite beautiful. But when you put that statement in the context of everything else we know about Don Wells, that really made my stomach churn. The way my stomach churned the first time I saw him giving a press conference with his arm around his young and defeated looking son. That was honestly the first time I saw Don on video. I'm sure he's cried a lot more privately, but on video become emotional when talking about his daughter. And it's not when he's talking about, you know, the cute things she did or, you know, the things about her that he missed. What he misses is stroking her hair and telling her he loved her. And that brought up a memory of their togetherness that honestly troubled me. All the things Don has said about his relationship with Summer are types of things that adults say about adult relationships, not really relationships between a parent and a child. Really try to go and just isolate the comments that he says and think about that in those terms, and tell me what you think in the comments below. One last thing I want to point out before I get into my story is that every time Don does an interview, and in many social media posts, Don throws a great deal of shade to Cation by saying that she was the one shoving him so hard that he had to shove her, and that she went down because of that. And he blames Candace's mother for him having to go to jail during that time because she told the cops that he had real bullets in his muzzle loader. And now Dawn is mad at her for being honest, for doing what she was supposed to do to keep herself out of trouble with the cops. So there's something off with that. And it feels like the only time Dawn really speaks highly of Candace is when, or gives her any sort of grace or room, is when when it has anything to do is when doing anything different would put a bad light on him. So based on those statements, you can see that there's a pattern of behavior on Dawn's part that says that when he does something abusive to someone else, it was their fault because of who they are. And if his victim speaks out about it, he becomes a victim of their accusations rather than admitting to it, apologizing for it, and changing the behavior once and for all. Well, I want Jeannie to know that not only have I been there, but so have many, many other survivors who have heard their abusers display the same patterns of behavior. Abuse, deny, deflect, blame shift, maybe do a fake apology, but take it back by blaming the person and continuing the behavior. You don't need those people in your lives, people. It's not normal, even if it doesn't involve SA, okay? Now I'm going to tell my story, and while I do, at times I'm going to show the parallels between the conduct of my father, who was a known pedo and sociopath, and that of Dawn Wells. And after that, I'll say why that matters to Summer's disappearance, and then I'll give my updated theory on what happened to her. But real quickly, before I start with my story, I want to tell survivors of childhood trauma, and especially SA, that first, I'm very, very sorry for what happened to you, but also that the rest of this video could be very, very uncomfortable for you. So please keep that in mind. And maybe it's just not even good for you to listen if you are extremely triggered by hearing about SA situations. Now for my little story. My parents were very young when they got married and had me and my brother. My mom had my brother when she was 20 and me when she was 23. But by the time I was 6 months old, she was done with my father. He had already spent a year in jail on porn and potentially sex trafficking charges. But I was told up until a pretty late age that it was just marijuana charges. And then I found out later that he was distributing porn, potentially child porn. He apparently took a photo of my mother when she was 16, a nudie of my mother when she was 16, and passed it around to his friends, maybe even sold it. I don't know for sure. But bottom line is, he was not a good guy. My mom left him when I was 6 months old, and he was not a responsible father. He didn't pay child support. He didn't do regular visits. And, he was not raised by the most loving and nurturing of families. It was a very strict religious family. They did not believe in a lot of affection. He didn't get very much attention from his father. His mother was mean. And my understanding is that he was SA'd by a neighbor. My mom, on the other hand, was raised by a fairly normal family with very good hearts, very strong morals and character, and they had a good-hearted spirit. So my mom leaving my father was honestly my mom breaking that cycle that I keep talking about. That was the first part of her breaking the cycle. However, that was still my father. He still had the right to, at a certain point, have visitations with us. So in the early years, he did, sporadic visitations with us. but they were only on weekends. And whenever he took us, it was always to somebody else's house, to his brother's house, or to his parents' house, or to a friend's house. He never had his own place to stay. And when he would take us on these visits, he would isolate me. He would isolate me in the way that a parent would normally isolate a child in the normal caring and feeding of that child. So when we were together, he would say things like, "When you go to the bathroom, Lenny, you must tell me when you're done so that I can make sure that you have wiped properly. And if you don't, you are in trouble." Now, I had the same reaction to my father as I mentioned Summer Wells had to her father when he got angry at her. When my father was angry at me, he was mean and scary. And I was afraid of him, so I cried very easily. I would do whatever he said I should do. And whenever I went to the bathroom, he would come in, and the process of him making sure that I did what I was supposed to do was painful and much longer than it should have been. Let's just put it that way. So, uh, to this day, I can't walk into a bathroom without having that memory, and it's something that I've, gotten treated for, and I've done a lot of therapy over. But people with histories of abuse like that don't have a choice but to have certain flashbacks when the same situation is presented to them that they were put in when they were abused. So, another way he isolated me was by telling me that I had to sleep with him in his bed when I slept over, even though there was a completely open bed for me in another room next. There was two twin beds in this one room at my grandparents' house, and my brother had to sleep in there alone while my father insisted that I sleep with him. And not only that I sleep with him, but I take off everything but my underwear, which were then invaded eventually. So now, every time I go to sleep at night, there's always some sort of flash of that memory. Another way he would isolate me is by saying, "Oh, it's time to take a bath, and we must take a bath together." And for some reason, it was necessary when I was 3, 4, 5 years old for him to teach me how to wash his genitals. I don't have those kinds of genitals, but I guess I had to learn how to wash his genitals. So, I kid you not, people, and this is going to be difficult to hear, but until I started actually having relationships with boys, I thought that they were all walking around with stiffies, because that's the only way I saw my father was with a stiffy. All right. So to this day, if I'm walking around in public and I see a stiffy, it triggers me. Now, I don't go up to that guy and say, "You've triggered me. It's your fault. You shouldn't have a stiffy." I mean, come on, you guys. It's not his fault that I got. But if I, uh, but people shouldn't be intentionally and egregiously triggering to people with histories of SA. And I see a lot of that happening, especially on YouTube. The other way he would isolate me is by pretending to render aid when I was injured or sick. So on 4th of July, I stepped on a firecracker. I was like 4 years old or something. I stepped on a firecracker, and my aunt rushed over to render aid. And instead of letting that happen, my father said, "No, no, no, it's my daughter. I will take care of her." And instead of taking me into the bathroom where, any parent would take a child where there's a first aid kit, he took me into the stuffy, old, stinky camper that was parked in front of the house and pretended to render aid to me while he SA'd me. So to this day, I really don't like campers. And I'm not I'm about as much of a fan as the 4th of July as my dog, but I don't put that on other people. The other way he isolated me, and this is actually the first time that he did kind of a group grope was he got me and a few other kids and said, "Oh, let's go play Guess Who It Is." And he led us all into a dark garage, told us to take off our clothes, and then we all had to go wander around with our arms out and try to figure out who it was that we ran into. And of course, how do you figure that out? And why did we have to be naked? So, you know, garages aren't that much fun for me either. Uh, Now, those were kind of the earlier years, and then he wasn't paying child support, so my mom cut him off. She said,
Okay. I know that was a little bit long, but this video is very long. And it's called Summer Wells Telling My Story. Why Dawn Wells Passed SA Matters by Trauma and True Crime. She did this August of last year. And if I was you, I would watch the whole thing because I thought it was very eye-opening, triggering. But also, can you guys believe this? You know, like I didn't even really, I guess I didn't make the connection, but once she started talking about how her father made her sleep with him, shower with him, the different things, you know, it really makes a connection in the way she described how this creator described that obviously Don and Candace have not learned and they have not grown from this sick, unhealthy, perverted thing because they still blame the victim and they can't, you know, they can't come forward with it. And so that's why I think that Summer was definitely abused in that way. I feel really bad for her. Even hearing this story, I feel bad for this woman that made this video. My heart goes out to her. And my heart goes out to all those people who have been SA'd. I have a few that watch my channel who are victims. And my heart goes out to them. And it's a lot to deal with. It really is. But now, when you start to feel panic or when you start to get upset, you know, remind yourself, talk to yourself and tell yourself you're safe now. Nobody else can ever hurt you again because you won't let them because you're grown up now. So when you start to have anxiety or post-traumatic stress, just remind yourself that you're safe, you're doing okay, and nobody's around, and they're not going to hurt you, and you have the power now. You're a big girl, big boy, whoever is the victim. But anyways, yeah, I found that very eye-opening, the similarities between Summer's case and hers. And it just convinces me more, and it makes me very sad. I really haven't seen anything new in the Summer Wells case. I keep looking and looking, but since I can't, I'm trying to bring you some older videos that you might have missed. That kind of, I don't know, to me, this video right here, she did a great job. But to me, this kind of cinches the picture, puts pieces of the puzzle together that this was happening in that home. And Don knows very well what happened to Summer, and I believe Candace does too. So they really went out of their way, didn't they, to try to prove abduction. I mean, I was listening to him on J is for Justice on one of the old videos, and he said they were going to prove how Summer could be abducted. They had a child, and they had a car and a driver. We're going to put this whole elaborate thing on for us to show the abduction. I don't know what kind of parents want to do this kind of dramatic plays for people, and trying to convince so hard something, you know, if she was, then there'll be proof of that when they find her. But we know that that's not the case here because we can tell by all the signs in the family, the abuse, everything that went on. So, anyways, you guys, I'm trying not to go too long with my videos, and it's already long enough. But I want to let everyone know that I had a wonderful birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes. My husband took me out, got me a pretty necklace. We went and had a wonderful steak dinner at Texas Roadhouse Grill and just went shopping and had fun. And it was like a perfect, beautiful day outside. So I really had a good birthday. Thank you for those who wished me one. And other than that, nothing's going on. The veggies in my garden are starting to come in. Zucchini and cucumbers and peppers. So I've been kind of busy trying to make sure everything's taken care of in my garden. And I think about all of you, and I love you. I don't know if I'm just going to do like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do. And if you don't like these kind of videos, will you tell me that too? Like, I don't know. I started a spiritual channel to talk about the Lord. I haven't made any videos yet because I don't know if people would even watch. So if anybody thinks that would be good to do some spiritual videos, or if you want to hear about a different case, let me know. Leave it in the comment section. Oh, no nasty comments, please. No hate. I try to love everybody, and I appreciate my subscribers. They're very loving and kind to me. So, and anyways, I hope all of you have a good weekend. I just want to say I love you all. I'm praying for you, and just keep your prayers for Summer Moon Utah Wells, okay? Anyways, have a good night, and God bless you.